And the presidents of United States and Brazil are engaged in a war of words now. Donald Trump and Lula da Silva are clashing over the BRICS, tariffs and former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro's high-profile coup trial. The latest salvo came from the Brazilian President Lula da Silva, who hit back at the American leader over his threat to impose tariffs on countries that align themselves with the BRICS, or as Trump likes to call it, anti-American policies. Lula criticized Trump for using the internet to intimidate other nations, saying the world doesn't want an emperor.
A president of a country the size of the United States to go around threatening the world on the internet, it's not right. He needs to understand that the world has changed. You know, no, we don't want an emperor. We are sovereign nations. If he thinks he can impose tariffs on countries, countries also have the right to do the same.
President Trump has stated on social media that he would impose an additional 10% tariff on any country that aligns itself with what he called anti-American BRICS policies. Trump's statement came just hours after the BRICS grouping of nations, including Russia, India and China, criticized US sanctions. Brazil hosted the 17th BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, where the Indian Prime Minister is currently. He's currently in Brazil, that is. And that was not the only mention of Brazil in Trump's posts. Trump later posted a criticism of Brazilian authorities over what he described as a witch hunt against former President Jair Bolsonaro. He called on Brazilian authorities to leave Bolsonaro alone. Bolsonaro has been charged in Brazil with hatching a coup d'etat plot to oust the current Brazilian president after losing to Lula da Silva in elections in 2022. He could be sentenced for up to 40 years in jail if he is found guilty. Now, Trump's comments on Bolsonaro drew a sharp rebuke from the Brazilian president himself, who set diplomatic niceties aside and hit right back at Trump's interference, adding that no one is above the law. Listen to this.
This country has laws, this country has rules, and this country has an owner, the Brazilian people. So let him mind his own business, not ours.
Let him mind his own business. That is what the Brazilian president said about Trump. Now, Bolsonaro, former president of Brazil, who is often known to emulate the American president's ways, thanked Trump for extending his support. The fallout between Trump and Lula over Bolsonaro comes after Brazil hosted the BRICS summit recently. Lula da Silva described BRICS as a new model that demands greater care, emphasizing that the bloc is not a closed group or a club of privileged nations. The White House, however, said that the US president feels that BRICS is seeking to undermine the interests of the United States, adding that Trump will take any action necessary to prevent countries from taking advantage of the United States.
Of both Democrats and Republicans to one in which we
Well, the president feels, generally speaking, that BRICS is seeking to undermine the interests of the United States. It's the president's utmost responsibility to put the interests of the United States first. That's how he views his job as president. So he's going to ensure that America is fairly treated on the world stage, and he'll take any action necessary to prevent countries from taking advantage of the United States and our people.